4-1 Chelsea in the end, Stevie. That was very routine, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, actually, to be honest, 4-1 pretty much flat as Crystal Palace. Probably could have been 6-0 at half-time. Not quite sure whether Chelsea were fantastic or Crystal Palace were just horrendous. Probably a little bit of both. You know, when a team sits off you and lets you play, then I guess it's not your fault. And you can only go and try and do what you can. And Chelsea did that. I mean, they totally cut Crystal Palace apart on so many occasions. And as I said, instead of 3-0, it probably should have been 6 at half-time.
Let's speak about a couple of the players. Firstly, Christian Pulisic. And a week or two ago when he came out at half-time and then sharply went back in after struggling with his hamstring, you thought, oh no, not again. But when he stays fit, he's quite an asset for Chelsea, isn't he?
Oh, he definitely is. And you know exactly what you're getting from him. He takes defenders on. He tries to run in behind. He's desperate to get on the end of things. You know, he's got a real simple game, but I'll tell you what, isn't half effective. 2 good goals today. Again, another string to his ball. Played a lovely ball in for Havertz in the second half. That Havertz ended up getting a shot that he should have scored. So yeah, I mean, Pulisic was great today, and he just seems to be getting better and better. And it's all down to time on the field. Listen, I don't think any of us are surprised that the more time he gets on the field, the better he'll be. That's what we've been crying for. And it seems, touch wood, now that he's sorted out his injury problems, he's getting that time. And he's absolutely taking advantage of it.
Well, no one knows if he's sorted out his injury problems. You hope he has. You must have played with really good players, but you kind of knew, there's always that chance that a little knock or a little niggle could set them back. From a mental perspective, how does Pulisic deal with that, knowing fine well he can be flying when he stays fit, but there's always that issue?
Well, it's time. It's time on the field, more importantly. But over time, you know, you go from thinking about it and worrying about it to all of a sudden one day you go, oh, I haven't thought about that for a while. You know, it really is a process. It's not as simple as the physio says, right, you're fit, everything's fine, and then you forget about it. It doesn't work that way. It's about time. It's mainly about time on the field. And the more time you spend on the field, then you know you're physically 100%, and you actually forget all about it.
Pulisic's kind of playing in off the left up front. Havertz in a position which he's played a few times before, but Tuchel seems to like him as a kind of, not so much a striker, but a front man, whether it's a false nine or whatever. And Pulisic and Havertz, they certainly gelled well today, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think, you know, when you buy a player like Havertz, I don't think you're buying him for necessarily his goal-scoring exploits. You're buying a guy who you know can score some goals, but he's a guy that knits everything together. He's a guy that gets the ball from the middle of the park and then works with his other forwards. So this is a guy that basically knits everything together. He's very cool. He's very composed. I mean, he never looks as though he even sweats. So yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a bit of a tweener, isn't he? He's not a goal scorer, and he's not your big centre half. He's centre forward. Sorry, he's just a football player that knits everything together.
So there's either 2, maybe 3 spots available, Champions League spots in the top 4. Any concern that Chelsea won't get one of them if they continue to play like they did today?
No, none at all. I'll be more than surprised if they don't get that 4th spot. You know, I don't see them losing many games. It's about whether they can take the opportunities that they create every game. Up until today, they haven't been doing that. But what they have been doing is keeping clean sheets. So they're always going to pick points up. So I don't see Chelsea finishing outside the top 4 at all.
So Champions League, they've done it before. Pretty much got one foot in the semi-finals after the first leg against Porto. Would you want to draw them if you were one of the other sides in the competition? I know the semi-final draw's already been made, but would you want to face them if they were at their best?
No, not if they're at their best. No, if they're at the West Bromwich Albion of last week, Chelsea, then yes. But not what we saw today. What we saw today was a team that they just sliced up the opposition with ease. Unfortunately, they never took the many chances as they should, which seems a little funny when you score 4 goals. But the truth is, it could have been double that. So I guess to answer your question, the answer is no, I don't particularly want to play against Chelsea.
Final question for you. What's the biggest difference between Tuchel's Chelsea side and Frank Lampard's Chelsea side, in your opinion?
This team looks as though it's not going to lose. You know, unfortunately, listen, Frank went on an incredible run. They went 17 games without losing. And the version of what we're seeing Tuchel's Chelsea now is what we saw under Frank. You know, then he had a horrendous run. And they looked like a side that could lose when they step on the field. Tuchel's sort of gotten rid of that. They don't look as though they're going to lose. They look as though they're going to be the team that are going to get after it, that are going to try and dominate. And so I guess he's just brought the belief back that maybe the side had lost under Frank.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.